if I won't win. Everyone will be disappointed, our fans, our families. I can't get back home. My wife won't let me back home if I won't win.
Welcome back to Cologne, Germany, and the final day of the European LCS playoffs. We're just about ready for Game 2 between Evil Geniuses and Gambit, but right now I'm happy to be joined by EG's Shaker. Now Shaker, what an amazing game from your team here in Game 1. You know, can you comment a little bit on the picks and bans and the strategy?
The picks are really good. Like, the picks might not have been looking as good as Gambit's, but the champions were very comfortable for the players like Zach and Snoopy, and that's how it went. Like, they're really strong, and as a team, when they're comfortable, their confidence goes up and they just start doing plays like that.
Tell me about yesterday, because you were, of course, with the group, and then after that loss, how were they at home, and what were they talking about?
It wasn't nice to see a lose, of course. You can't like be happy about it, but they were not as sad. Like, they took it as a win and see what happened, and they learned from it, and they came the next day and now showing people how good they can be. And now they're showing a really good performance, so it's really nice to see them change.
Do you think, what do you think they should do for the next game? What should they hold on to? Because, you know, you said comfort champions, but a lot of them might get banned out.
Well, I mean, right now I think this game, they tried to ban out Froggen, but he's got a lot of champions, so it's really hard to ban him out. I think most of the players have like 3-4 champions at least, and if you want to ban one player out, the other will get his comfortable champions, and then it's going to be a problem. So you can't actually ban one player out, so it's hard to ban the comfortable champions.
Tell me how you're feeling in the group of players, because you've moved into the house a while ago. How is that going?
I had to get used to how they do and everything, like schedules. It's really nice though, like living with them. They're a nice bunch of people. Like, we eat together and stuff, and we have fun. Like, we joke around, and like yesterday, even though we lost, they were not like sad. They were like normal people, like every day. Like, maybe they might not have been as happy as they were, but they're still very positive, and it's really nice to be around them.
You also seem very happy to be here. Is there not a little part of you that's like, oh, I wish I could play in front of all these people?
Well, it's not about really playing, it's just about winning. I joined EG to increase the winning chances, and we just want to win and go to Worlds. That's the main part. So it doesn't matter for me. It's better if I can play. If not, Snoopy can maybe do a better job. Right now, I think he is doing a better job, and it's fine for me as long as we're winning.
Fantastic attitude. Finally, what's the one thing EG has to do in this next game to take it?
I think they just have to keep up with what they did right now. They have to play the comfortable champions. Even like Zach maybe can get banned out from Snoopy or Aatrox from Wicked. I still think they will perform as good as they did with their other champions. Like, if Wicked plays Shen, it's fine. Doesn't matter if they get banned out, but they just have to keep believing.
Keep believing. Thank you very much, Shaker. As for us, it's time to go back to Joe and Jason, who are standing by to take you through Game 2 in the fight for third place.
Thanks a lot, Shox, and we've had a lot of fun over here at Gamescom in the last couple of days, and one big reason for that is the massive amount of people that have come out to support their favourite teams. And even though these crowds can be tough at times, the LCS squads make sure to take a moment to give back to the fans that have given them their support all season long. And yesterday we tagged along with the Evil Geniuses as they took the time to say thank you and sign a lot of autographs.
Gamescom's an incredible experience. Like, the amount of people that turn up, and not only the amount of people, the amount of fans of ours that turn up. There was basically a swarm of people waiting. We really had to rush through them and pull them outside so we could actually keep the emergency exits open. And we were basically surrounded, so we had to devise our own little system how to deal with fans. And it's like, I actually waited about 10 minutes just to kind of gather myself before going outside, and after that it was about three hours of just solid signing.
I think we took pictures for 2 or 3 hours, all of us, and it was just amazing.
Personally, I use the counterclockwise spinning. I just take one fan turn, keep it going. I actually had to borrow sunglasses and everything as well because I was getting like heat stroke and drinking water and stuff. It was a great laugh and it was nice to meet everyone. Fans are always really welcoming. They have great patience, and we want to take our time to reward their patience because they're doing so much effort coming out all the way from different countries to see us, and the least we can do is take a picture and sign some stuff for them.
Yeah, and it is in fact amazing. I mean, the amount of fans here of League of Legends, no one can really move in the hall right now. That just shows you how many big League of Legends fans we've got here on the stage.
I can't imagine how long it takes the players to go from the stage just to the other side of the hall. It's got to be like 20, 30 minutes for them. I mean, I remember back in, was it Lille with Ocelot, he just could not go anywhere because he was always swarmed, and he was always appreciative though of all his fans that were coming up to say hi, take a picture with him.
Well, it's time for our second game between Evil Geniuses Gambit, and the win in that first match there for EG puts them just one victory away from third place and that trip to the World Playoffs. Like, I can't really stress how important it is right now.
Yeah, and EG, they dominated. That whole dive comp they pulled off was just ridiculous. As you see, 22-5 and 55. That score is out of this world, and for them to be able to do that against Gambit, one of like the best teams, the longest standing teams in Europe, is not an easy feat. And you know, Wicked, he played phenomenal on Aatrox. He got going very early on. He went 2-0 and 13, and Snoopy gave him that early gank, was able to get that kill on the Voidal, able to really get going on, because that's what Aatrox needs to do, and when Wicked's happy, the rest of the team is going to be happy. And you know, speaking of that man, Snoopy, on that Zac, I don't even know what to say about that because it was so amazing. He went 6-1 and 11. His ganks were perfect. His timings were perfect. His aggression was unmatched in his previous weeks of playing, and to follow that whole combo up, I mean, you got, like he's staring down the camera, but to follow that whole combo up, Froggen on that Orianna, we got to talk about him because 7-0 and 12 on her. She's one of those champions that if you shut her down early on, her damage really doesn't do that much as the game progresses, but he was not shut down at all. I mean, he had so many items. He was even going into a defensive item with that Quicksilver Sash, and his ultimates with that ball delivery system of Snoopy, sublime.
Well, we just saw the stats from those three players, and we talked about it before game one. This whole three-man hit squad that EG have done so well with, really developing the games, came out strong for them here once again. And we're going to be coming into game two with EG feeling very, very confident about their position. Of course, they're going to switch side. They're going to go over to the red side now. Are we going to see different bans here? Because for what Gambit did last game is they banned 3 champions against Froggen. Froggen picked Orianna after banning 2 mid-lane champions themselves, let's not forget, and he dominated with it. You can't ban him out, obviously.
Yeah, I can tell you right now that they're not going to change the bans up. You already see pretty much the exact same thing from both teams. And you know, Shocker during the interview, he said something that I really liked. When EG's comfortable on their picks, they play so much better. And you saw it in that last game, and right now it's up to them. Can they get those champions that they want? And Shen is available if Wicked does want to pick that up.
Well, the Zac was taken away here by Gambit, and as you mentioned, staying firm on the bans. Fizz, Ari, Twisted Fate coming out, Kassadin and Zed over for Evil Geniuses. The thing from their side this time around is that they have the final pick available to them, so Froggen's got even more of a chance to counter Alex.
I don't even know if that's going to happen. I mean, look what happened last game with Gambit. Alex, he took Karthus.
Well, that's the thing here, right? With so many mid laners banned out, it's like, well,
what do you have left to pick?
Get him at some point. We have to get our choice at some point. So that is the Aatrox. I wonder if we will see the likes of Orianna coming out in these early stages here. Aatrox and Thresh will be locked in here for EG.
I think it's a very likely possibility, though. I've never really liked Alex on the support type AP mid laners. I've always liked him being very aggressive, doing a lot of damage, these assassin types, and what he's sitting right now, he might just go for what he had previously. And the thing was, he didn't do bad on Karthus at all. He did actually really well. It's just the rest of his team got shut down so many times that he wasn't able to get the farm that he wanted. He wasn't able to really do the damage that he needed to. And we saw his ultimates. I mean, multiple times he got EG down to slivers of health. Just wasn't able to really clean them up.
Yeah, and they were pretty far behind at that point as well, so you can't really blame the that kind of thing on him. So Gambit going to lock in here second. Got that Zac, and it looks like they're going to be trying to take this Jarvan away now from Snoopy, which with that Jarvan open, Snoopy is a big fan of that Jarvan. Diamond on the other side, funnily enough, has always said that Jarvan is very, very strong, but has technically not played him really that much. He's kind of shied away from it. I think it's a champion that he doesn't enjoy maybe too much, or he doesn't feel fits into their combo much more. But he's actually got great stats with Java.
I think you're right, though. I mean, I think it's more of a pick of we don't want Snoopy to have it. I mean, think back to when they played against Alternate, and those last 2 games, played Jarvan, both of them did amazing. The early game pressure he was able to provide with that champion really shut Alternate down. So I think it's definitely one of those, I mean, we don't necessarily want it as much, but it's more about we don't want them to have it even more.
Yeah. So what are AG gonna combo in with this one? Hovering over Zyra right now, which would certainly be a turn up for the Bucks with that Thresh already locked in for them.
We've actually had a lot of teams talking to us about AP Zyra middle. I mean, Morden, actually Exeter back in Giants and the spring split, played a lot of Zyra mid lane. It really caught people off guard. Not to mention Cowtard with the Copenhagen Wolves has a lot of damage behind it. And you can kind of use that because your ultimate can pretty much get Arthas out of the fight right away. I would love to see this.
Zyra mid with the Amumu as well, and they're going to go for it. They're going to be going for this big AoE comp once again, and I guess we could say mixed results at this point. Like, they've played it twice. Yeah. They hammered Gambit with it. They absolutely destroyed them with that combo, but that was at 2 AM on Sunday morning after a super week full of games where feet were a little bit off the pedal, I think we can say. No one giving full gas with that one. And we'll have to see whether then they go for that misfortune. And it wouldn't surprise me actually to see Genja saying, I'm going to take misfortune.
I mean, because the thing is, right now, both teams have a very strong AoE composition. I mean, look at Gambit's side. You have the Cataclysm on Jarvan, you have the Karthus late waits with the Z, you have Zac jumping in with the Let's Bounce, you have the Crescendo to follow up. So there's a lot of AoE damage. You want to stay in the back, which Misfortune would do very well with. On EG's side, they have a lot of AoE too, with the Amumu to lock them down, with the knock out of Wicked, with the Stark Flight, and not to mention the Stranglethorns coming out of Zyra. So looks like he actually might not go for it. So he's going to go for Spray and Pray instead, which still is kind of like World Time. Goes through a lot of people, can do a lot of damage. Yep, still kind of similar premise on that one as well. So will EG finish this one off then with that Misfortune? No. Well, that got answered very quickly, didn't it? Caitlyn, going to be the choice here for Yellow Pete, a champion which, as we said, played a lot of recently. Really has gone and said, Caitlyn is my number one. We saw him a couple of games on Vayne as well, which for me was really, really impressive from him. He has 5 games on Vayne throughout the season, 4 wins with her. Yeah. And even Kripa said, like, I don't know where Yellow Pete's Vayne came from. I mean, he never really played it, never really liked to play it. I think it just came for 5 games and we're never going to see it again. It was like, I'm just going to show the world what I can do with Vayne. Thank you very much, I'm very good, and that's it. Just going to go back to Caitlyn right now. But he is going to be playing the Caitlyn this time around, so Zyra mid for Froggen. First time that we're going to see it in the LCS for Froggen. I certainly there's certainly not played it in the summer split. Pretty sure he didn't play in that spring split as well. This is definitely an off-the-wall different pick for Froggen. I will tell you this, so after this game, I bet he'll have better stats on her than he does on Anivia throughout the season. Well, he's only going to play 1 game and he's already lost 3 on Anivia. So even if he were to play Zyra the next 2 games and lose both, he'll still have better stats than his Anivia. So we'll see. And the thing about Froggen is he's very good mechanics-wise. We've had so many people talk about him being one of the best mechanically. If you make a mistake, he will punish you for it. And Zyra can really be one of those champions with the plants. If you can time them, perfectly, get one to slow, get one for range. Not to mention the ultimate to be able to hit them to power them up even more. Like if he can pull that off, like that is a lot of damage coming down. Not to mention with the Zyra, there is always threat of a very early Baron coming out of EG. So here we go. We're going to get into game and. I can't stress this enough right now. A spot in the World Finals, the last spot for Europe in the World Finals, are riding on this game. Right now, EG are 1-0 up, best of 3, so Gambit need to win 2 games in a row right now. They need to go unanswered for 2 matches against EG. It's going to be very tough for them, but if any team in Europe, maybe even in the world, can do it under pressure, Gambit might just be it. I have to completely agree, and I'm still just kind of stunned right now that one of these 2 teams won't be at Worlds after doing so well throughout the season, doing so well in Season 2 at the finals. But right now it's a battle of who wants it more.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
So here we go then, in-game, match number 2, Gambit versus EG. Can EG sew it up with a 2-0, get the job done and get home, I think is what the plan is here for EG, but Gambit not the team that gives up pretty much ever.
Oh, Crepo.
Yeah.
Did he go for it again? I think he did, and it went to the exact same spot.
Was that 2 wards?
Yeah, that was 2 wards out of him.
Wow. Yeah, that's
30 seconds.
not quite gone to plan. Let's put it that way. Let's just pass over that for a minute and just let's ignore it. For Crepo's sake.
I don't even know what happened.
At the start. Well, I'm not sure
He just went bottom, that was it? No
what
wards
was going on there. Obviously, did put his Explorer ward in there as well, so it's how it goes sometimes. Not the end of the world for Evil Geniuses, but small things like that can make a difference at the end of the day.
I definitely have to agree with that, and they wanted that early vision. I mean, he wanted to potentially throw that hook as they're setting up right now to go for a late invade on this red, and right now, Gambit is set up for it. They are in position to take the red. If they can do that, if EG can stop them, that's a huge win for them. And I think they're going to go in at about 150 here, and they actually might be able to catch Voidal and Gensha because they're going to be doing double golds here, it looks like.
Oh, this could be very dangerous. Are they going to ward actually backing away from that one? They've gone down towards that bottom lane with the minion wave coming in. So EG gonna get a free take on the red. The question is then, what does Diamond do? Does he go straight over to the red? They've got no vision of EG here, but at the same time, okay, so Froggen went over a ward on the top side, so that's going to be pretty obvious to them now. So it's all whether Diamond, does he go across? Or what does he do right now? At the moment, he actually just went over towards the wall, but it looks like he is going to make that crossover to go to red.
Yeah, because I think it's because they saw where Snoopy was going, so they know his red's gone. They know it's been taken away. He's going to have to steal it himself, and he should be able to get it for free. He does have a smite available. Snoopy used his on the enemy red, so he won't be able to have that to take it away. But we're gonna have those buff trades coming in that we typically always see. But one thing I do want to point out, Wicked, he went for a red pot again. He's going to be very aggressive early on against Darian, and if actually both of them know how to play against each other because Wicked loves Zac, Darian loves Aatrox. It's kind of like, well, we know exactly how each other are going to play. Most likely, I wouldn't be surprised to see it be a farm lane, but Diamond, he's already set up in this top lane. He wants to make this first blood happen on the Wicked, or just counter jungle, one of the two.
And the man that really brought us counter jungle in here in Europe as well, obviously, back in the day with that Shyvana. Still hoping that we get to see that at some point after its small resurgence at LPL over in China.
We saw Naruto from TCM actually play it in the promotion tournament here. I don't remember how it did though.
Well, we need to see Diamond on it, right? It's like, if we're going to see Shyvana, it only counts if Diamond plays it. That's the fact. So right now we do see Snoopy coming down and towards his bottom lane. Diamond taking away his guns and taking away most of that Wraith camp as well there. So while we see Snoopy down on this bottom side, Diamond is really capitalizing on that nicely.
Yeah, and he's trying to make it so Snoopy won't hit that level 6 point where he really starts to shine. But Froggen, he's spotted going over to his Wraiths. Luckily, we'll be able to clear the camp though, so that means Snoopy will have it available when he gets back. And Diamond, I mean, he's not worried about ganking. He's just all about this counter jungling currently. And I wonder if he's going to go back in for these double golems, which right now Snoopy's heading up towards his top side. We could see a fight potentially break out here.
It's going to be dangerous for, well, either side, depending on who kind of spots who first and what position they're in. There's Diamond again.
Oh, he's dead.
Snoopy actually managed to steal that one away. Say steal it was actually his to start with. Anyway, we are going to see them coming. Wicked taking a big amount of damage here. He's going to have to flash away from this one. His passive going to get popped, and Snoopy now has to bide his time, but Wicked not coming back in with so much health. And EG having to play defensively after that one. I think they thought they could get a lot more from that than they did.
And in the end, that was a flash out of Diamond, a flash out and ignite out of Wicked. And Snoopy's sticking towards his top side. He wants to counter Diamond if he goes back in yet again, but Diamond does back away. And overall, a great job by both junglers just to realize where they're going to be and to kind of stop each other.
The good thing for Wicked is obviously that lifesteal back here for him with Aatrox is going to bring him straight back up to a very healthy position. And Froggen shouldn't have too much of a hard time with Alex in this laning phase, to be honest, but he's massively behind.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much he's been practicing Zyra. It takes a little bit of work to get used to last hit, but Froggen definitely will be able to pick that one up a little bit, I would imagine. And not to mention, you have the ability to take those Wraiths over the wall with your plants once you get a little bit of ability power, so he'll be able to farm up quite well. It's Crepo less hitting that minion with that hook, but Diamond is coming around toward the bottom side. Really spotted by a ward yet again, so EG, they're trying to control Diamond by warding up around the map again, just to kind of prevent him from having that early game start that he was unable to have last game.
And that seems to be a bit of a key these days to beating Gambit, is to take Diamond out of the game, something that teams struggle with for so long. No one could ever take Diamond really out of the game. That was the problem, that he was so aggressive, he was so almost unashamed to be in your jungle the entire time, stealing everything away. And so many teams had problems with that, but he's had a very quiet Gamescom so far.
Yeah, and it used to be Camp Darien, get a lot of kills on him, force him to go on tilt, and then win from there, where on the other side, teams would just camp out Wicked, and if they're able to shut Diamond down, his early game impact is just not going to be there, and that's kind of, like you said earlier on, that's what Gambit's been able to depend on, and without Alex being able to play an assassin like Zed or play like a Fizz, he isn't as impactful in the game as he normally would be.
So the bot lane is there, we just saw a bit of a glimpse of them farming up. Genja got 2 out of his 3 Doran's blades that I'm pretty sure he's going to go for. It's not really that much of a wild guess, to be honest. He's been doing that for quite a while now. On the other side though, Van Center and a single Doran's blade already coming out for Yellow. Pretty much rinse and repeat from his side of things with this Caitlyn. Yeah, Froggen didn't steal away that big risk, which, you know, to be fair to Snoopy, he actually spent a lot of time early game on, you know, pressuring the lanes, but he's done really well to come back in terms of the levels and CS from that.
Yeah, I mean, he's currently sitting very pretty at level 5. And when he hits that 6 point, that's where his ganks become really impressive. And if you can land it onto, let's say, mid lane, you have a grass break to follow that up with, you have a lot of control with the String of Thorns, you have a lot of damage behind that, not to mention even bottom lane. If you hit them, you have the hook to follow up. Top lane, you have Wicked to follow up with that Aatrox, with that knockup of Dark Flight, not to mention the slow. So there's a lot of lanes he can really gank. And also the pressure that they can put on a Dragon, because both teams want to force these team fights, and that would be kind of the ideal place for it to happen.
So here we see a bit of a pink ward battle, and just in time here for Snoopy getting towards level 6. He does have a pink ward of his own here as well. And right now, EG, all 5 men down bottom.
Yeah, they're going to go for Dragon off of this, and very rightly sure they should. They have that plans if Froggen doesn't want to come down. They have the pink ward onto Snoopy. That's why I invested money into it, and it's going to pay off, it looks like. As right now, Gambit does have a ward, but it's not really in position to spot the Dragon being done. Gambit, they're just going to give this one up.
Yeah, that is gone. There's no way that Gambit are going to be able to come around for this one. That's going to give EG an early lead here, picking up Dragon number 1 of this second game. That puts them 11 to 10,000 gold. Oh, but literally just that Dragon there is the difference between the two.
And Froggen spotting where Diamond is going, but it looks like Diamond's going to be able to steal away this red here, uncontested. But Snoopy's going for the bait himself too. He's going to be able to take away red, I believe, unless Diamond just had it on him. No, he doesn't, so he should be able to take that one away when it comes up right now. And after this, we might see him gank bottom because he's level 6. He has that flash available. And it looks like Voido's actually going to come and spot him taking this red.
Let's see if they can actually do anything about this one there. Voidal coming through. There is a wall of pain going down. Lantern thrown down by Crepo. And he's able to get himself to safety. They and the hook there on towards Genja. There is the ultimate coming out. Genja not quite able to get out of range, but Riley's cursing the Sad Mummy down and not really utilizing it to his full potential.
And yeah, and the thing was, during that fight, Voidal wasn't level 6 yet. They wouldn't have that crescendo to stop the gank, but unfortunately for them, they just kind of, I guess, a little bit of miscommunication. Didn't really have the damage to follow it up, but Voidal getting caught now.
He's surely going to go down from this one. We do see the Requiem coming in there as well. First blood is going to be picked up here by Yellow Pete, but can they keep going through? Genja will take down Crepo, but Pete actually walking away from that one. It was a passive from Wicked actually popped in the top lane.
And this is what we didn't see out of Alex last game. Any ultimates coming in the early to mid game, and he wasn't really able to pick up any kills or assists as he got right there. Now he's at 109 CS, he's farmed up quite well. He's even sitting on 1,600 gold to back with, but assuming he will be going for that Rod of Ages anyways. And so far, great job by Gambit to just kind of brush off that last game, come into this one with a fresh new mind, and they're closing that gold lead.
So 1,900 gold Pete now got himself after building up this CS lead, plus getting that first blood in there. Then losing his support, but it was all about the first blood pickup that was important to him. It's going to allow him to go home and be sitting very, very pretty once he comes back into the lane.
And look at the pink ward investment that Crepo's been putting down towards that bottom side. Obviously the one was Snoopy at the Dragon, but they want to be able to spot Twitch coming in. They want to be able to take that vision away and apply that pressure of Snoopy potentially coming into gank with the no vision that Gambit's going to have. And it's a great job, but it's also a lot of money to sink in just for that early on.
Let's see how that develops. He's got himself another one there as well, so you can see that coming down here shortly. Obviously, always nice to keep control of those brushes as well. When you've got the Thresh in there to throw those hooks out. See if he he keeps going for that one as well. Voidal is level 6 as well, so they need to be careful of flash crescendo, something that Crepo has certainly mastered in most games. Let's just put that little disclaimer in there. He said himself, first game against Alternate was pretty much, or second game, he was pretty much missing every single flash crescendo that he went for. We'll see Voidal has got that in him for this one. So let's have a look down the CS in other lanes. Still Alex Ich having a decent lead over Froggen in that mid lane.
And Froggen actually responding with that Spirit of the Spectre, as you do see right now, Wicked getting caught in his top lane.
Yeah, he's going to get his passive popped here, but Darian, is he going to be in trouble from this one? There is Curse of the Sad Mummy coming down. Wicked has to get behind the turret here, and that passive is going to be popped, but I don't think Snoopy's got enough to finish off Cell Division. There is Cataclysm, and Snoopy flashes away. Both of them going super low, but surviving somehow there in the end.
And that should be a turret for Gambit, because they're able to push them out. A great job by Diamond to counter that, and they're actually going in. Diamond even flashing for it, but because he was able to jump away quick enough, but that will be the first turret of the game going over to Gambit if they do decide to take it, and also the gold lead for him.
Yep, gold lead gonna come swinging back on towards their side. Actually will leave us pretty much bang level either way, with that first dragon going over, of course, to Evil Geniuses, and as that turret goes down, we see there not even 100 gold difference between these two right now. Probably just a ward, probably a pink ward that Crepo's had there to put down between them. So all good stuff at this stage. Very, very close game. Very tense game as well. And you can understand why. Each can win it with this one, can book their place at Worlds. Gambit can lose it all, basically. If they lose this one, they're not going to go to Worlds. If they win this one, they've still got a long way to go with another game to play.
And I was actually just thinking back to those tiebreaker matches that we had last week. EG had the higher seed versus Gambit in their first playoff game, or tiebreaker game, and they chose red side. They were the higher seed in this game, and they chose the blue side this time. And they said earlier when they chose red because they want to be able to counter Gambit a little bit, let those two quote-unquote OP champions get through so they can pick them up. And this time they went for a little bit different. And I'm really curious to see if that's because they're more prepared for the blue side this time. Because right now, they're not having as strong as a start as they've had previously.
Well, it's probably because all Froggen's champions were going to be banned out anyway, so he's going to have to pick that mid lane up fairly early. Let's see. Their gold sticking very much even, with 13 minutes 20 in this one. A slower pace game than last time. You can tell exactly what's on the line between these two teams as well. But we do have the Dragon coming up here in 40 seconds. That's going to be a big objective that is going to swing the goal finally to one of these two teams.
Yeah, and I really want to see, are we going to see some fights break out with their Snoopy? He's actually going to be able to, oh, he misses the band shots on the Voidal that potentially would have been able to pick up a kill. You also have to remember, Alex, he's a lot more on the line than just going to Worlds. He might not be able to go home if he loses. His wife won't let him back in the house.
Yeah, that's another motivational factor. We saw it in the video earlier. He basically said, my wife's not going to let me home. He's homeless after this. Possibly. Let's put that disclaimer in there because we never quite know. But that kind of amplifies, obviously, what's going on. Pretty sure his wife will let him home even if they were to lose. But you get the point there. Pride on the line for these guys as much as anything else as well. Right now, are they going to be able to get in towards Genja? Snoopy.
He's committed a lot of time down here bottom, and he was spotted obviously earlier on, but he stuck around to go for that, getting unfinished, to go for the Dragon that comes up, but Wicked getting caught here.
Yeah, Darian actually going to go heavily onto him from this one. We do see the jump away, the Dark Flight was interrupted, but look at that life steal back there for Wicked. Minions hitting away at him, and he actually is able to walk away now. Froggen getting himself caught out. There go the Strangle Thorns, here come the rest of the team. Froggen flashes away, brilliant play. Are they going to get now towards Alex? Box goes down, Voidal coming from the side. There's a flash away from Crepo. He's in no man's land right now. He's in the enemy jungle. There is the Requiem coming down. Froggen not able to survive that one. Crepo almost died to it as well. He will possibly be able to recall. Let's get down there to him because we are going to see Sona coming in towards the jungle, and he does. Just about
just barely in.
Just about.
And you see the burst potential coming out of Zyra there. Froggen, fantastic job to kill Diamond. And I think with Snoopy, he was able to keep his ultimate alive. So we're going to check out that replay real quickly as Froggen, I mean, he kind of really gets caught here. He gets those plants down, he gets the ultimate off, and he keeps the ultimate in range of his plants, so they get powered up even more. And Alex even takes a huge chunk of damage from that. Alex was even forced to commit that exhaust right there just to kind of keep Crepo off of his back. And Alex feeling safe, even flashes to go for his ultimate right there just to get out of range of Snoopy for a bandage toss, picking up the kill, picking up that blue buff, and really keeping Gambit even.
Froggen was actually really close to get out of that one, but like I said, caught with his plants down. So here we go then, Dragon is going to go over towards Gambit. Easy pickup for them, nothing that Evil Genius is able to do. That starts to build a lead in their favor as Genja takes a big hit of damage, but is he going to be able to finish off Yellow Pete? And actually not quite, as they start fighting outside the Dragon Pit here again. There is the curse to the side moment. Diamond goes low. Crepo thrashing him down there. Darian also falling pretty low from this. And now Froggen is joining the fight. He doesn't have a flash available. Will he really make the jump over? No. I'm just going to back off. And they're happy with the kill there.
Yeah, it looks like they'll be able to push middle down as well with their 4 men grouped up here. Not very healthy, but right now Alex really isn't in position. And they could easily go, I don't want to say easily, but they could go for a dive on him. It won't be that easy, especially with Darian sticking around. But great job by Ichi to at least pick up a kill right there. And hopefully for them, a turret.
Well done. Wow, Darian diving in there, wicked. Having his passive from that one, he's going to have to fly away from that. And again, struggling here underneath the turret. But we start to see now that Froggen building up some good AP. On the other side, Alex already got that Catalyst and Protector in with that tier stacking for quite a while now. 80 carries, Bloodthirster, Pickaxe. Yellow Pete once again going for that build that we've seen from time and time again. Yellow Thirster, Bloodthirster into Last Whisper on the other side. The Blade of the Rune King for Genja.
And currently, Alex, he's sitting on about 2,800 gold to back with, so he's already doing quite a bit of damage. That power spike's going to come through even more when he finishes that Rod of Ages. And that Blade of the Rune King on Genja, I mean, it's a pretty common item on a Twitch because you do get the extra proc from that on your spray and pray through all those champions. And Yellow Pete. So let's go for that Bloodthirster Last Whisper combo. So his ultimate does a lot of damage. He can deal with anyone that jumps into him, which Darian and Diamond are going for, and helps give him that extra survivability with the Bloodthirster.
So one thing that is most definitely different this game around is that Darian is having a much better time of things, and you see that in his play, how much more confident he's feeling, how much more focused he is on the game. Last time around, obviously playing that Shen, and he was kind of all over the place, getting caught out left and right. This time though, he's been starting off a lot of fights and has been dominating Wicked in the sub there. You can see the CS difference, but really being visible in the fights up there. Wicked's not really had his passive available much of the time.
Careful, I think getting caught here, actually, ultimate coming out Jarvis.
Yeah, he's actually probably going to die here from this one. We did see Crescendo come down. Genja is able to come in and mop up that one. Now we'll leave him at 2-0. Pink Ward's going down as well. They want to try and steal blue. No, not quite. Well, actually, they are. They're going to stick around for this one, but Snoopy and Froggen are on the back side here, so they need to be careful. By careful, I mean just fast. Take it away before they can do anything.
Great job by Gambit just to catch Crepo out of position. That minion's still alive right there, so the blue hasn't been reset just yet. We do see, though, on your minimap, Diamond still sticking around and really trying to put the pressure on Snoopy. They're really trying to control that jungle, which Diamond is so well known for.
And they may go for something new on this inventory. Dangerous to dive the likes of Mumu and Azira, but Darian, he doesn't care. He's going straight in onto this one. They managed to get the first kill. Snoopy pops his ulti, but he's going to go down as well. Requiem did come in. LOP actually been hit there. And spray and pray, and Crepo, he's not safe here. Puts the box down, but they're going to get the kill anyway. Genja flashes from the turret. Can they get onto Yellow Pete? Not quite, he's out of range. Wicked wasn't obviously there. He's pushed down on turret in reply, but they're losing this mid-outer turret.
So they lose 3 deaths, they lose 1 turret for 1. Overall, just a poor engage by Evil Geniuses, or I guess you can say a fantastic engage out of Gambit. As we're going to catch the replay of that, and Froggen, Zara, a very squishy champion, just gets right on top of them, and they even lock them down in that whole Amuma ultimate mixed in with the Zara ulti, but Genja not being hit the whole time. Yellow Pete and Crepo weren't really there, and as we saw, Wicked was just in that top side, and Crepo, I'm not really sure why he went for that pull, because he just got locked down. Maybe he's hoping the box would keep them under the turret long enough that Yellow Pete would be able to pick up the kill, but as we saw there, it fortunately didn't work for him.
So a definitely different Gambit here in game number 2 than we saw in game number 1. Let's probably say the same for Evil Genius as well, running a different type of combination from this. After the rank stayed the same, but Darian took away Snoopy's Zac, which he would have picked again if that Zac was available to him. And
they're gonna
performance. They're gonna
go for it. They do have the plans down. Oh, we do see word coming from Darian though. He's gonna be able to stop this right here. They committed a pink ward to kind of go for something like that, as we mentioned in the picks and bans. But great job again to stop that and turn it around. And right now, look at Alex. He is just walking all over at Froggen in terms of CS. Pretty much 50 up at this point. 2-0 and 2. Not to mention almost a 2,000 gold lead currently.
This layway starting to really sting to land onto people. Run evaders. Okay, the suck up. Blasting one as well. They are going to hook Darian in there, but it's Darian. He's going to bounce around the team. There's a 3-man crescendo. Here come the rest of Gambit. They're going to lock them up there with the Cataclysm, and they managed to pick up 2 kills from that one. Can they go any further? I said 2 kills. I just made that up. I don't know. There weren't 2 kills at all. Darian died, and that was it.
He died twice though, at least, Joe. Maybe that's where you got the 2 from.
That's it. 2 kills on Darian.
But we do see Gambit, they're still being aggressive here. They want to push this turret. We do have the Curse of Submarine coming up in just a second though, so we could see potentially engage, but Froggen, he was back at base. Snoopy was back at base, and a great job at Gambit just to realize where they were and pick up that free turret.
The thing about Gambit is, if you give them a small lead, they will make it so much bigger, so much quicker than a lot of the teams around, you know? They capitalize on mistakes and any kind of advantage that we give them so often, as we see once again Crepo out of position. He's going to possibly go down from this one. Will be finished off there by Alex Hitch, but they're going to get the kill back on towards Alex, and as I say that, somehow manages to walk away there. He gets himself a double kill, and he's still alive, just walking away from this one. Yellow Pete tries to chase him, but 3 men going down instantly there, and they still weren't able to finish off the Carthus.
I don't think it's over just yet. Froggen quickly got here. He doesn't have flash to get away.
Yeah, and the Requiem is available now as well. There is the slow coming down from him. Tonya's going to be used here by Froggen, but that means he's vulnerable then to that Requiem. They're not even going to need it. It's a kill for Genja. He's now unstoppable at 5-0-4.
I don't know why EG went in for that engage, because the whole point of their composition is to have their ultimate stacked on top of each other. As you're going to see, Snoopy, he goes in, but Froggen, he's not really here in this fight. He doesn't have his ultimate available, because that was a perfect ultimate coming out of Snoopy right there, but then they just get spread out. They don't have that sustained damage that Gambit has with that Carthus, with Genja not even being hit, and they take that fight pretty easy out of Gambit, able to turn that around considering EG was the one to force the fight.
And right now Gambit headed down towards Dragon. No EG challenge from this one. And look at Darian. He is feeling so confident here as he dives in towards Yellow Pete. Genja comes out of stealth, not going to escape in that one. It's another kill coming down for Genja. 6-0-4, probably a turret as well.
And that Twitch is working out so well for him. And I feel kind of bad because in the matchup we talked about them not having a huge overlapping champion pool. As we've seen, Yellow Pete play Twitch quite a few times. I believe it was 6. And he's doing fantastic. Like you said, 6-0-4, has that Blade of the Rune King, has the money for Infinity Edge when he does go back. And to mention Alex, he's 4-0-3. Death Cup almost done. Gambit pushing this inhibitor turret. It looks like they want to finish the game soon.
Well, they are going to be able to take down that inhibitor. They're going on towards Snoopy. He will go across to the lantern there. But that pretty much leaves this inhibitor completely open for things. Are they going to be able to take that one down? Waves coming in. Crembo won't quite land onto its target. That will mean that Gambit back away from this one with close to a 10,000 gold lead.
And we got to take a second here to look at what's happening. Gambit, when they take an inhibitor, they need to close out the game. Between these two teams facing off, the team that got the first inhibitor finished the game in 54 seconds. And that kind of shows that one team's gonna pick up Baron, they're gonna rush that inhibitor, and they're gonna rush for the win. And I really want to see Gambit. Are they gonna go for that Baron here?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say your stat means nothing in this game, because they're not gonna do it in 54 seconds. It's gonna take a little bit longer.
Well, the inhibitor hasn't gone down yet. EG was able to defend it.
Technicalities, I suppose. That may happen, but we're only 24 minutes into this one. So far been a very, very quick game between these two teams. Still, things could change around, but Gambit, they're not a team that really like to give up leads. I say that in all respect to EG, who have come back from an incredible deficit against Gambit before, obviously. Now Gambit actually setting things up here. Darian, is he going to slingshot in there? No. Realizes that Froggen decided to actually walk away from that one wisely enough, because Darian has not been scared to get down and dirty with that Let's Bounce.
Thing is, right now, with them having this more control with the Oracle on board, as you see the game come out of EG.
Yeah, but I'm not sure it's the right one here. Snoopy obviously going to be able to get his ulti down. There is a crescendo to stop them. Snoopy not actually ulted right now, and they're focusing on Wicked down on that backside. He's going to get that Bloodwell pop, but he's not going to be able to walk away from it. Darian picks up that kill. Yellow Pete goes down on the backside. Double kill in the end for Alex Hitch. And right now we see Darian diving over towards Froggen. He's in no man's land here. It's a case of time, a case of when he goes down from this. Snoopy did manage to get away. Froggen's Sonya's up. Diamond just slams down his sword, and that will be 4 deaths here from Evil Geniuses. Gambit not losing a single man.
Yeah, as we see in this replay, like Voido, he gets caught, but he flashes out of it. And you see Snoopy, he doesn't have a good position for an ultimate. He cannot lock down multiple members of Gambit, and because of that, because of Gambit so spread out, they're able to pick them off one by one. And see on this top side, Alex just not being stopped at all. He's just able to hammer away. You see those lateways. We talked about them doing a lot of damage. You see it right there, and they're able to push them out. Of course, Froggen wouldn't be able to survive on that top side, but as you just saw, Gambit did pick up that Baron right there.
Baron picked up. That leaves them now 12,000 gold in the lead. And with the inhibitor about to go surely down, it's an open inhibitor there for the taking. That whole statistic of 54 seconds might not be so far away from reality at this point, with how far ahead they are with that Baron buff running.
And the thing is about Gambit is, over the regular season of the summer split, they've taken 14 Barons. That's the 7th lowest in the split. And that kind of means that they don't need Baron to finish. And if they do take it, they're just going to win on you. Like, they plan to win from it. They don't need to pick up multiple Barons to finish a game. And with that inhibitor open, with Gambit backing away with a lot of gold to spend, it's going to be very dangerous. I mean, Alex, he has a death cap done and another nuclear large rod on top of that.
I think it's safe to say that Froggen's not playing Zyra anymore after this game. He's not had a good time of things. 1-4-1. Darian charging up here. Is he going to dive in? Yes, he is. Team's nowhere near him, but he's going in there. Let's Bounce coming down. He's going to get hooked up in the air as the ace in the hole comes through. Not really doing too much damage. That didn't get used at all. Froggen's going to die. Sonya's came out from him in the end, but that is Gambit picking up the first inhibitor of the game. Are they going to go down to the bottom, or are they going to try for the win?
I think they might go for the win here. I mean, they have the tank to do it. They have the Baron regen as Genji's just hitting it for fun. And they're going to be able to take this game back. Joe, we're going to see a third game.
We are going to be seeing a third game here. Alex finishing off that turret. He's actually got right into the middle of the team. They're going for more kills as the curse of the Sand Mummy comes down. Crescendo comes back there. Diamond now on a killing spree as he picks off Wicked. Nice block from that one. I think Alex would have actually gone down from that one. Genji finishing off the second Nexus turret. They're going to finish off the Nexus itself, and we are going to game number 3 to decide our third and final team in from Europe to go to the World Championships.
Joe, you said Gambit, when they're in that high pressure situation, when their backs are against the wall, they come out swinging, and they really showed it right there, able to pull that game back in a very one-sided fashion. We finished off 17-4 for them, 49,000 gold to 34,000, and not to mention Alex, 6-0-7, and Genji goes 6-0-7, just ridiculous scores across the board.
You have to wonder now what this means for EG. Very confident, very solid win in game number 1. But see how hard it is for them in this. Look at Crepo, completely, I'd like to say chilled, but I don't think that's his chilled face right now. I think that's
a little frustrating.
That's his worried face at this point. I mean, winning game number 1 so convincingly, let's be fair, losing game number 2 so convincingly, it's really hard to call, isn't it? We've seen 2 games, they've both gone one-sided to one team. How do you possibly call game number 3?
I don't think you can. I think the only way you can go about it is play what you enjoy playing. I mean, EG, they did really well on the blue side. Gambit did really well on the blue side, but now EG is going to have blue side yet again for this third game. I don't want to say it's a big difference because statistically wise, there's not really a difference between who wins more on which side, but I mean, in the whole mentality though, I mean, just being on blue, you might think about it differently, and you might have a more confidence going into the game.
Well, both teams are going to have a bit of time to talk over things. They're definitely going to have a big plan going into game number 3 to decide who goes to Worlds. But for now, we're going to go over to Quickshot and Kobe to break down the key plays of Gambit's Game 2 win.
Well, thank you very much, Joe. It was a stark contrast, night and day from game 1 to game 2. All of a sudden, Gambit, they find the gear that they were missing and stalling on in game 1. Before we talk about the game, pick some bands. Zach and Aatrox this time around, we do see them in 2 teams' hands. Once again, EU sticking to the tried and true. But mid lane Zyra, did you see anything else that you liked or disliked from these comps?
So these comps were really Gambit. They stuck with the exact same bands, and they made their adjustment in their first pick. It seems like EG sort of reminded Gambit of the playstyle that they like to do, and going for those dives after they get ahead a little bit. First picking Zach meant the world to them. It changed everything. That took it away from Snoopy. That was his very comfortable jungler that he wanted to use. And with EG going with Aatrox after that, Wicked didn't even get to have his strong top lane Aatrox because Zach is so strong, and with just a little bit of attention from Diamond, Darian was able to own that one.
So we've seen another game where it was more about the tower dives and the in-your-face fighting that led to objectives. This time around, it was Gambit that was making it work for them. Were they doing anything exceptional, or was it just really that revive passive and diving in?
No, it was really Darian. After that little help from Diamond, he won his lane, and then he went to go dive. As soon as he got his Sunfire cape, let's bring up the clip that we're going to show here. This is really an example of Gambit showing EG how they like to do the tower dives when they're the ones with the revive passive. All right, let's roll this clip. Here's going to come Darian in from the top. Not only does he get right onto Froggen, but he can finish off Froggen before the rest of the dive even gets there. And Snoopy trying to help him is just another casualty. Now Krepo even gets too close here. Genja's getting part of this, gets off his Blade of the Rune King, and that's enough to lock down another one. It's pretty much just a role reversals from the last game here. This was EG out of place. They had Wicked up top. Gambit were the ones with the map control. They shoved in early, went for the tower dive with the revive passive, took him down. And
you've got to give props to Alex's Karthus as well. In that little clip, 19 minutes on the board, 240 CS to his name. His Requiems were really hitting hard.
So this is kind of why Gambit would have a hard time throwing this game away. Once they got their early lead, they had the Karthus and the Twitch in there for the end game. And EG, again, went with their AoE combo build, where they got the Zyra after they already had a support Thresh, because they tried to take away Thresh from Gambit, being one of their most favorite first picks. It didn't really come together. They, again, tried to have those two very big AoE ultimates, and they got spread out, weren't able to do the combo once again.
Well, we'll have to see in Game 3 whoever gets ahead in the early game, because both teams have the ability to just roll through their opponents. We do need to take yet another short break, but when we return, it is time for the third and final match between EG and Gambit, with a trip to the World Playoffs on the line. European LCS Regionals live from Gamescom Germany. We'll be right back.